Terraforming is the act of utilizing a game's mechanics to shape the terrain the way you want it to be. There are three basic terraforming tools in Valheim: the Pickaxe, the Hoe and the Cultivator. You'll need the Pickaxe for lowering the ground, the Hoe for raising and leveling the ground or removing grass, and the Cultivator for decoration purposes. First, let us introduce a simplified model of the world in Valheim. It is made up of multiple blocks, which consist of different sections. Each of these blocks consists of two identical vertical sections. We'll call multiple blocks that are stacked on top of another a stack. Let's start with the Cultivator, as this is the simplest and easiest to use. You can use the Cultivator's add grass function on blank ground to plant grass, or on dirt walls to change their visuals from this rough texture to this smoother texture, which is commonly found in the natural world of Valheim. You can also use it on the water to add lily pads, or close to the edge of the water to plant reed. This doesn't work all the time for some reason though, and it only works if the ground is no more than 2 sections below water. The cultivate function just makes the area you use it on more uneven and makes it look darker and dirtier. The pickaxe is used to lower the ground. To come back to our block system, one swing will remove exactly one block section. Swing it twice to remove an entire block. The maximum distance you can mine down is dependent on the original height of the stack you want to lower. When arriving at sea level, there will be water regardless of whether you connect the hole to some body of water or not. The maximum distance you're able to raise or lower the ground seems to be about the height of 4 wood walls. You can save a lot of time by hacking at dirt from the side though. While swinging at it from the top only removes 1 section per swing, swinging at it from the side will lower the pile of dirt to the section you're currently standing on. If you stand right in front of the pile of dirt, it will raise the block you're currently standing on and the block you're hacking at by 1 section. Stand back a little further to mine the entire stack down to your level without raising it. I've also noticed that there's a way to mine down with a single swing while hacking at something from the side, but I didn't yet manage to pull it off consistently. While the pickaxe is pretty straightforward, the hoe is different. The circle shows the area in which the leveling will be applied, and the line in the middle shows the difference between the grounds and your vertical position. The hoe will try to raise or lower the ground to the vertical position of the ground below your character's feet, so try to stand on the same spot for as long as possible while leveling to keep the vertical destination of the stacks the same. You can press shift while using the hoe to level the circled area according to its surroundings instead. Now let's get back to our block system. If the difference in vertical height between your vertical position and the vertical position of a stack inside your range is less than or equal to 2 sections, you can raise it up to your level. If you were to raise it step by step, this would cost 8 stones otherwise. The original vertical position of the stack will be saved though, and you can only raise it up by those 2 sections and not raise it by 2 sections, and then later on raise it again by another 2 with this technique. Another trick to save stone is to have a stack that's way higher next to the one you want to raise. Aim slightly below the border of the higher stack and use the raise ground function there to immediately raise the stack to the height of the higher one, while only spending 4 stone. Keep in mind that the maximum height you can raise a stack to is dependent on that stack's original height. You can also utilize this trick to simultaneously raise ground and lower ground of 2 adjacent stacks. To do this, just click on the higher stack at the height you want both of them to be. The pattern function just reverts everything you're able to do with the cultivator. Now let's move on to some uses of the mechanics I explained that aren't blatantly obvious. Let's talk about how to build a canal or how to redirect a river. First, you want to search for land that's not too high and preferably not on the hilly side. This is so you're able to mine down to the sea level at all points. The first time I created a canal, I didn't know this and I had to plan everything anew when I realized I wasn't able to mine down to water level at all points. If it should occur that there's only a single section above water, then use the hoe as you're able to level ground below its minimum mining point by doing so. You can lower the ground to below water level like this in a lot of cases. To do so, stand on lower ground and click not on but right next to the stack you want to level. If there's a runestone right where you want to build your base but you don't want to build around it, you can dig around it with the pickaxe to lower it below the rest of the ground. Keep in mind to not fill the hole up with the hoe, as that would make the runestone respawn above ground the next time you restart the server. Just cover it up with a wooden floor and nobody will ever know it's still down there. You can use the cultivate function of the cultivator to make small patches of ground look muddy. Just remove any axes you don't want with the hoe's pathin function. You can also use this below water to make the water appear darker or make it look like the ground is further away than it actually is. Although there's currently no possibility to dig a cave, you can sort of create one by digging below one of the giant rocks or copper deposits and destroying part of it. There's not gonna be a lot of space above your head and it's gonna be small in general, but it at least kinda replicates the feeling of a cave. Now let's get on to some general terraforming tips. If you can't seem to get a stack below the level of a floor plate, remove a single section with the pickaxe and stand right next to the border of the hole where the floor is slightly lower. Then proceed to level the area with the hoe. Sometimes I like to leave a little bit of dirt above the ground near the entrance of a building so it looks like dirt that was brought in through the door. In general, you rather want the ground to be too high than too low, as lowering the ground is free, whereas raising it costs 4 stones, so be careful when leveling. Though it may not be possible by normal means to mine down further than 3 sections below water, you can do so in debug mode. To do so, press F5, type in "I'm a cheater" and press enter. Then enter debug mode and close the cheat menu by pressing F5 again. Now just press Z to fly and mine deeper below water than normally possible. You can fly higher by pressing space or lower by pressing Ctrl. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something that's going to help you during your adventures in Valheim. This was my first ever YouTube video, so please leave feedback in the comment section as to what I did well or what could have been better. Let us know your biggest tips for terraforming in Valheim down there as well.